We heard on the radio that an enemy's tank column had been seen. Then we were ordered to blow up the bridge.
How much time did he have for withdrawing?
None. There was such a mushroom. Just like after an atomic bomb explosion, like a 9-story building just blew up and burnt. Batten blew up the bridge and himself too. I was just amazed. I said, how on earth could he? How could he stop them all alone? Damn, how?
He blew up the bridge with him and detained the occupiers' column. For this, he was posthumously awarded the title of Hero of Ukraine. On February 24, 2022, on the first day of Russia's full-scale invasion, 25-year-old Marine Vitaliy Skakun blew up the Henichesk bridge connecting mainland Ukraine to Crimea to stop a huge enemy column of armored vehicles. Many questions remained about this story. In this episode, you will find out the chronology and details of this amazing event from eyewitnesses, brothers-in-arms of the Ukrainian hero, Vitaliy Skakun.
On the 23rd of February, we were on guard with Vitaliy. And already on the 23rd of February, we slept dressed because our commander used to tell us all the time that something was going to happen. We kept guard every 2 hours. 2 hours of rest and back to the post.
It was on the 23rd evening. He was back from the guard and had rest. I called him. It was 9:30 p.m., I remember. How are you? What's going on? I asked. Do have rest, Mum, he said with an exhausted voice. He didn't tell me much, and I understood something was wrong.
Hardly had I laid down as a political officer rushed in and shouted, "Collect your things. They are gathering equipment and rushing through the border." "That's impossible. Everything's fine," I said. "Look over there," he replied, and then I heard some sounds. He said, "There are tanks on the border." I hadn't even seen or heard a tank before. A guy was sitting at the side of me. He is not with us anymore. He turned around and said, "Look, there are flashes over there. Something is flying towards us." We were ordered to go into the shelter. We had just entered it as they started to hit us with Grad missiles. It was about 3 a.m. We were on duty at 4 a.m. when the commander gathered us and said, "Urgently collect, attach the trailers with explosives, and go to the bridges." We realized at once something was wrong, as we hadn't been prepared for that. There had been no exercises, and now, all of a sudden, as we had gathered up, we were told we had an hour at most to collect everything. We already were at the bridges at 6 a.m. We heard on the radio that an enemy's tank column had been seen. Then we were ordered to blow up the bridge.
Do you remember your feelings when you were told so?
I was frightened, very frightened. I signed a 3-year contract as a Marine. That's where I got to know him. "My name is Vitaliy," he said. "My call sign is Baton." "Why so?" I asked. He replied, "Because I'm as tough as 3-day bread." Later on, I got to know from guys that his call sign was Baton because he loves sweets. He used to bring us sweets to our dugout almost every evening. We made good friends, found a lot in common, and helped each other. Until that day of invasion.
When were you deployed closer to Crimea?
After the training ground in Oleshki, we were deployed to Chaplinka. We used to go on duty and mind our own business. Then we were deployed to another place, Novoleksivka. There were trailers with the explosive. We were set the task to renovate the trailers and tidy up the explosive.
When were you told to do so?
A couple of months before the invasion.
Could it be a kind of signal?
Well, there were some rumors about Russians approaching the border closer and closer. But still, we hoped nothing would happen. Our engineering service went on duty and kept guard over the trailers only. We didn't go anywhere else. We were in Novoleksivka, in the Moduar city. There were containers with beds and stuff. We stayed the night there. A month before the invasion, we were deployed to Henichesk. We used to live in 10 minutes' ride from the bridges, maybe even less.
And where were the trailers?
They were with us. We brought them to Henichesk too. They were masked with tree and hidden in caponières, covered with camouflage nets. There were 2 trailers, 24 KZ4 in each one. Each one contained 40 kilograms of explosive in each barrel. Not that we were taught or something. We were just told to attach the trailers to CRAS and set off in case of emergency. Me and Vitaliy took care of the blasting machine. We also monitored the serviceability of the explosive device.
When did you check it last before the invasion?
In a couple of weeks before the invasion.
Was it intact?
Yes, it was. One trailer was on the first bridge, another one on the second bridge. So, we should have blown both bridges up. Me and Vitaliy had left Oleg on the first bridge and went to the second one. I got myself prepared and saw a KRAZ approaching. Alexander jumped down and helped me to set up the electrics. "You will stay on the second bridge," he said. "Why on earth should I stay there?" Zrenia. "I'm a conscript, but I'm an engineer." "You should set up everything there," was his answer. "Okay, if so." So I stayed. I adjusted everything and reported to my commander everything was ready. He told us to wait for support. "Can I go to Vitaliy?" I asked. "I don't want to leave him there alone."
Why did you say so?
Well, in such a period when something is going to happen, and it is pretty scary, it's important to have some kind of support, to do this together. I stayed on the bridge and heard them talking on the radio. The captain had a radio. I hear fragments. Misfire, misfire, misfire. They didn't manage to blow the bridge up. We connected everything, pushed the blow-up button, but it didn't work. We tried again and again, useless. We checked the connection, from dugout to trailer, everything was intact. We didn't understand what was wrong and kind of panicked. We didn't understand. Then we reported on the radio that it didn't work. Try again and again, we were told, but all was in vain. We sat down and looked at each other. Then Vitaliy stood up and took a blasting machine. He ran away, then turned and looked at me, smiling. In a minute or so, the explosion sounded. There was such a mushroom, just like an atomic bomb, just like a 9-story building blew up and burnt. I felt the wind blowing through my pants. I turned around and I reported to my commander on the radio that Batten blew up the bridge. And himself, too. He said in return, 3 cheers for Batten. Glory, glory, glory. I ran to the first bridge. Then the car collected me.
Do you remember your state?
After the car collected me and brought me back, I was in tears. The lieutenant who was in charge of moral and psychological training calmed me down. Perhaps from fear, I didn't tell him anything in that moment. For what I blame myself now, that I didn't try to stop him. I just watched him running away and then smiling at me. In a minute, I saw a flash of red light, then fire, a whistle, and the fragments flying. I bent down, then stood up and ran to that bridge, but there was nothing left of it.
At 5 a.m., my mom called me and said, "Orisha, there's a war." I was shocked and didn't believe it until the very end. I rushed to search him because I knew where he was. I used to call, write, surf in the net, but he didn't write me back.
I award the title of the Hero of Ukraine to Vitaliy Skakun, the saper of the 35th OBRMP, posthumously. He blew up the bridge at the cost of his own life. They couldn't pass through there in large numbers, if not tanks and IFVs, but some enemy equipment still kept on going there anyway. But not so fast and over a small track. A big column was rushing. It takes a lot of time to turn the column, and after the explosion, the road was very narrow there. Are you Russian?
Yes.
What the hell are you doing here?
It's no use talking like that.
You are occupant. I was just amazed. I said, how on earth could he? How could he stop them all alone? How? After I got over it, I realized how heroic his deed was. For us, in order to let us withdraw, and in general for Ukrainian people too.
Could it be possible to avoid his sacrifice?
Damn. If the guys had realized what they should have done. We were not preparing for war. If it had been organized like it should be, everything would have been fine. But it was chaos, and we did not fully understand what to do. At the time when we were setting everything up, the civilian cars passed by. They could have touched something and broken it. Don't know.
Do you ask yourself this question? Why weren't the bridges blown up earlier? Do you have an answer?
It's difficult to say. Something was wrong, that's for sure. After Henichesk, we finally held the defense at the crossing between Berdyansk, Melitopol, and Zaporizhzhia. It was our line of defense.
Is that where you were wounded?
Yes, for the first time.
Was there the second one?
Yes, and the third too.
And where?
It was a fragment in the waist the first time, severe concussion in Kherson region the second time, and another fragment in Bakhmut.
You have experienced a lot. But that case with Vitaliy is still the hardest for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is the hardest thing you can experience emotionally. It's forever with you. You can get rid of physical pain after being wounded, but you can't get rid of memories. It is the only thing left of him, because we had to throw away the rest due to the lack of place. Then it was needed to transport people. I carried it on my body armor called Kosa. It was here on the strap. Every time I wanted to check the time, I used to press the button, and there was it. As we withdrew from our positions, I took everything I needed from my body armor and put the watch in my pocket. I had it with me all along during the occupation.
How long were you in the occupation?
6 months. Even in Kherson, when Russians drove in, I used to hide it under my bed. Me and Alexander can't imagine how to look his mom in the eye. True, it was his own decision to do that. But still, we feel guilty.
Haven't you already seen her?
No, we haven't. We were only sending condolences. We asked our commandment to let us visit her and give it to her. Yes, we want to go to her, to support her, to talk about her son, to remember how it was and how it will be.
Ну і так, одна річ, яка осталась від Віталія мені. І це ж
This is the only thing I've got from Vitaliy. I can't keep it while his mother hasn't got anything left from him from front.
Hello, dear boys. It's nice to meet you. I'm Vitaliy's mom. My name is Arisia.
ми привезли вам
We've brought you Vitaliy's watch.
Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Щиро дякую. Боже, це для мене це для мене подарунок.
For me, this is the gift for all of my life,
Дякую, хлопці, це згадка
the only memory of him.
від нього,
Thank you.
яку я буду
I will
зберігати
keep it as long as I live.
всі дні.